record. See if this will work. All right, cool. Welcome, guys. If you have simply just joined this call, you have joined at the right time because we are going to be talking about an extraordinary expectation, right? Extraordinary expectation. So I've just handed over the host to the beautiful Amina there, who hopefully will be able to stop all these things from popping up on the screen. Excellent. So guys, today's message, today's motivation call. I hate to call it a motivation call because I don't deal with motivation, guys. We're either dedicated or we're motivated, and I'd rather us be dedicated, right? And so today's message, I want you to write this down, is extraordinary expectation, right? You guys know that this is Extraordinary October. And so I'm here to talk to you about an extraordinary expectation. But before I go into that, I want to welcome you guys, especially if this is your first time on this call. Put some number ones in the chat, put some blue emojis in the chat. If this is your first time on a Monday Mindset call, I want to welcome you to the Wealthier World. I'm super excited to have you on today. My name is Nikki Knows Now, Chairman 10 here in I Am Academy, and I'm super fired up to be hosting this call today. And so this call is entitled Extraordinary Expectation because I believe that in this extraordinary October, we have to expect more. How many of us are so, like, I remember going through certain things in my life where sometimes things would go good, right? And you're almost expecting, okay, when's it going to go bad? When is it going to go bad? Because we're so used to having things come to test us. And so this is why I'm saying, if you're on this call prophetically knowing that you are declaring you have an extraordinary expectation and you're declaring extraordinary for you in October, put an extra in the chat right now. But you have to write this down, guys. I must expect a test. This is so important because we get too surprised when the test happens. We get too surprised and shocked when tests begin to happen, right? So I must expect a test. This ain't even the crux of what it is that I'm going to talk about, and that just came to me. But we must expect a test. Now, do you want me to show you how you can? There's only one way, guys, that you are going to be able to sustain and to elevate throughout this test. Do you want me to tell you the 10 steps on what you must do in order to make sure that you can sustain and overcome these tests, right? I'm going to give you 10 steps, guys. But we have to be in position right now because this, I swear, when I heard it, and I hope the way that it came to me when I wrote it down, I can give it that justice when I deliver this message to you guys, right? Now, before I go into that, and before I even go into anything, I want you to understand something. And I was talking to a gentleman who I went to school with, and we were celebrating a gentleman that was in our school. And he was in our school, he was amazing. This young man was actually somebody who was always playing football, always smiling, uplifting people. And he even got a scholarship, went to America to be able to do football, semi-pro, was getting into professional football. He was helping and, just being a blessing to everyone that he connected with. But in 2007, he died. He died of a heart attack, right? This is a guy that had so much purpose. This is a guy that everyone knew that he was going to be a superstar. And we celebrated yesterday. It would have been his birthday yesterday. And we were just reflecting on his life. Now, let me tell you this. What do you think we were talking about? We didn't talk about the house that he lived in. We didn't talk about how much money he had. We didn't talk about, how big his car was. You know what we spoke about? We spoke about how he'd helped so many people. We spoke about the effect that he had on us personally, how he made us feel, his legacy all those years later, 2007 till now. We are still talking about the legacy that he has left behind. We are still talking about the feelings that he made us feel. And so, yes, the battle is definitely against poverty, but I want you to understand the bigger picture here. That when you die, when we die, when we go down to dust, people are not going to be talking about how big our house was, how great our car was, how much money we had in the bank. They're going to be talking about how we made them feel, the impact that we had whilst here on earth. And so we were discussing his impact and discussing all the things that he did and how he used his gifting with football and how he used these talents to be able to inspire and motivate and help other people, not just in the UK, but all the way in America as well. And globally, we were all watching him. And so I want to ask you this question: what will your legacy be? What is it that you're going to leave behind that people are going to be speaking about in years and years and years to come? Because it's not the money that you make. It's not the money that you make. It's the legacy. It's the impact that you make. Now, some of us have gifts and talents that we're not even using, right? Because of fear. And I'm going to go into this thing, and excuse me for flicking, but I'm just going to go with the flow, guys, right? I'm just going to go with the flow. I was looking up online and I saw, right? How many of you have ever had a gift card? How many of you have ever given a gift card to someone? I have, both. And I looked online and, you know, last year, there was 3 billion unclaimed gift cards. 3 billion. What does that tell us, guys? That tells us, right? That tells us that sometimes it's not about just giving the person something. It's whether that person finds it valuable enough to go out and use it. How many of us, right, have had a gift card that we haven't even used? How many of us have had a gift card that maybe we have even given to someone else because we're not going to use that shop that that person has given us? How many of us have a gift card right now in our house that we know has expired? I tell you. Some of us have the gifts right in front of us and we're wasting it. We're letting it die by the wayside. We're not using the gift that we actually have. We're not using it. And I want to tell you guys this, right? I want to tell you this, and this is where I'm going to get into my 10 steps. And I promise you it's all going to align, right? I promise you. You can have all the money in the world. You can have the big house, the big car. You can have residual income coming in, trading accounts being flooded, and you can still be unfulfilled. How many of you always keep having that number in your head? When I get X amount in the bank, everything's going to be fine. Once I clear all these debts, everything's going to be fine. Let me tell you something, and I'm talking from experience, right? Once you get money where you don't have to worry about, you know, finances, that's when your real problems, your real issues come to the surface. Because so many of us have spent so much time trying to focus on the job, trying to focus on the debts, trying to focus on all the stuff, that is just the cover up to really what the root problem is. And I want to tell you right now that if you can attack that root problem, if you can address it, if you can get to it, every single thing that you want out of life, doesn't mean the problems or the issues and obstacles won't come. But if you can get to that one thing, every single time you have an obstacle, a situation, you'll be able to overcome. Do you want me to share with you that one thing, guys? Now, it doesn't matter whether you are somebody from a religious background, believe in God or whatever. I want to give you a word right now. I want to give you a word. And this thing is what is going to help you overcome anything when you understand this thing. Are you guys ready for it? Yeah, just one thing, guys, and then I'm going to give you the 10 steps on how you can really do this, right? It begins with an A, and it's called your anointing. I want you to write this down. My anointing. Write down my anointing. Now, if you don't understand what anointing is, in other words, I'm going to read this because this is what I wrote down. In other words, right? Your anointing is your undeniable, incontestable mark of God in your life. Or if you're someone that doesn't believe in God, purpose, love in your life, right? The anointing is the undeniable, incontestable mark of God in your life, or purpose in your life, or love in your life, right? Guys, wait for it. When you understand the anointing that's on your life, the purpose that is over your life, when you understand the true purpose over your life, there is nothing that will break you, nothing that will stop you, nothing that will crucify you, nothing that can shake you, nothing that can block you from moving to the next level. Nothing. So let me just put this in layman terms. You're in the car, you type in the navigation where you're going. The end destination is your mama's house. But on the navigation, you see there's traffic, there's road accidents, there's all these things happening on the journey towards your mum's house. Regardless of what's going on before you get there, you know you're going to your mama's house. So they can have the traffic lights, they can have the speed bumps, they can have the accidents, they can have, you could even have, there could be so many obstacles that goes on in the midst before you get to your mama's house. But guess what? The place doesn't change. You are still going to your mama's house. I promise you, I'm gonna give you these 10 tips right now, and it is going to, when you really understand what it is that you're called to do, there's certain things that just won't come in your way. There's certain things that just can't affect you. There's certain words that just doesn't even come to your ears because you understand the purpose, the destination of your life. Do you understand what it is that you're called to be? Do you have an extraordinary expectation for your life? What is the expectation for your day? What is the expectation of where it is that you're going? It doesn't matter about anything, at all the little finer details. He said, she said, this happened, that bill came through the door, they said that at the school. It doesn't matter when you understand where the destination is and what it is that you're doing in your life. So here we go. Let me go straight into these number 10 stuff, right? I want to go straight into it. Let me go, because I don't want to sidetrack. Here we go. Number 1, when you begin to understand, right? You begin to understand that you have a calling over your life, that there's something why you've been put on this earth, your anointing, right? That means they can take away the car, they can take away the house, they can take away all the money, family could disperse from you, friends can disperse from you, but your anointing cannot be taken away. Some people don't even know they have one, right? But it's there anyway. I want someone to understand right now that the call over your life needs you to go harder. It needs you to push harder. It needs you to not worry about other people's feelings about you, right? Because sometimes we're so worried about how things are going to end up, but all we need to do is start. All we need to do is get started. All we need to do is really get focused, and the rest will pan out for itself. So what I'm saying is right now on this call, number 1, you got to be ready. I said already, you got to be ready for the test. The anointing, the purpose will get you into trouble. Write that down. You got to be expectant of it. That anointing that you carry is going to get you into trouble. It's going to bring certain things to the surface. You see, one thing that can happen is people can despise your anointing, but they can't take it away from you. They can see the blessings that keep coming to you. They can see that you are just called for something. How many of you right now, right? This is the thing, guys. I'm trying my best to stick to these notes because otherwise I'm going to go off, right? How many of you know that there's people that you're like, oh my God, nah, I can't deal with them, but they're anointed. They can say everything about you, but they can't hide the fact that you just have something about you. There's just something about you. They may not like you, they may not like what you do, but they're like, yo, there's just something about her though. There's just something about him though. There's just something about you, right? And you know what happens is the anointing will force you to grow. You can't stay in the same place when you have that anointing over you. You just can't, right? And sometimes people will pray for your downfall. They will pray for you not to be able to get the blessings. But because of that anointing over you, I promise you guys, go with me. I'm going somewhere, right? Some people, right? I'll tell you a quick story about a guy called Cain who couldn't seem to understand the anointing that Abel had, his brother. And so he killed Abel. Some people will spend so much time trying to kill somebody else with the anointing, but they don't have time to develop their own anointing. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy how that anointing will get you into trouble, because that means people will begin to get jealous over you. People will begin to see and wish that they had what you had, but they don't understand that the anointing comes with certain things like sacrifice. Isn't it interesting? I'd share, a testimony before I even, knew I didn't think I was anointed. I didn't even think that I had any kind of purpose. I remember growing up being, just feeling like I didn't fit in. And one day someone said to me, you got an anointing over you. And it doesn't mean that person saying it has put it on me, but some of us need that clarity. Some of us need someone to say, no, there's something special about you. There's something special about you, and you have that. You have that. And so I remember when someone said it to me, it kind of jerked me. And maybe I'm saying this to somebody else who feels a little different and feels like maybe there's something weird about me. I seem to get, no matter what happens, I land on my feet. No matter what happens, I seem to figure things out. No matter what happens, I kind of have this kind of unwritten blessing. But maybe you don't realize that is your anointing. That's your purpose. That's your calling, right? But it will get you into trouble because sometimes others see it before you do. Let me tell you number 2. The anointing doesn't play fair. The anointing does not play fair, guys. This is what I had to accept this. I had to really accept this because I was like, yo, I don't have rich family. No one in my family's ever had successful marriages. I've never gone to university. I've not got, certain things. I looked at myself like I ain't really no one special. I haven't got, the lineage of, ministers, pastors. I don't have, I was looking at myself like, how can I be blessed with so much? Yeah. I don't feel like, and there's some people that have been slaving away. Let me tell you this, in this business alone, and I've got so many testimonies, guys, of where, success has just creeped up on me, yeah? But in this business alone, I came in 1 year, 10 months, done some things that some people have been in 5 years and have not accomplished. And they've been working and killing themselves and studying the industry and doing all these things. And here's me coming in, boom, 1 year, 10 months. Let me tell you this, when you understand the anointing on your life, it won't play fair. You will get advancements. You're going to start to go into rooms and start to see you're having conversations with people that you wouldn't even expect to have conversations with. You're going to start seeing favor over your life. You're going to start seeing your account start growing. You're going to start seeing people sending you messages saying, hey, do this. Your marriage will start growing stronger. Your relationship start growing. You don't even know why. You don't even understand why. And again, what does that cause? Haters. Because people are like, look at them. Who do they think they are? But you have to realize, you got to accept that, hey, look, take it up with the person that gives out the anointings. It's not my fault. I can't help it. It's just the anointing. It's not me. And this is the thing, you can't get all cocky and over your head about it. Because this is a thing where you understand that this is coming from your creator. You understand that this is something that you don't have control over. You just have to make sure that your environment is conducive to allowing that anointing to grow, right? I'm sitting around the table with multi-millionaires. How is that even possible, guys? It's not me, it's the anointing, right? Who am I? But it's not fair. It's not fair. People, I never even wanted children. I remember growing up saying, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have children. And some of my friends were praying for it all the time. And it came to me and I'm like, it's not fair. But when you begin to understand that the anointing isn't fair and you don't shy away from what it is that you've got, you don't shy away from the blessings that you have. Some of us are toning down our success to suit other people. Some of us are bringing ourselves to a lower level or under saying what it is that we're achieving because we don't want to make other people feel out of place. Other people feel like uncomfortable. Someone needs to know that it's not time to tone it down. It's not time to tone it down. Be bold in the fact that, yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair, but actually, this is my anointing. This is my anointing, guys. And I'm walking in it and I'm comfortable walking in it. Number 3, the anointing will level the playing field. Some of us feel like we don't have certain qualifications. Because of the anointing, it means that you may not have to have that qualification. You may not have to do that job interview. I remember going for a job, right? And they told me I didn't even have to take the interview. They were like, "No, you're cool. You're in." I was like, "Get out of here." The anointing will make provisions for you that you don't even have to work for. I remember speaking on stage for the very first time at a convention, and all of a sudden, the anointing just took over. I started to say things I didn't even plan in my notes. But on the back of that, guess what happened? I started making connections with individuals that I wouldn't even have dreamed would start to speak to me, let alone be mentoring me and be friends with me and go around with me, because I didn't even realize what was over my life. I'm giving you guys a personal testimony, and I hope this is making sense, and I'm going to make it make sense by the end of the 10 steps. Number 4, the anointing will attract people into your life, the right environment. Doors will begin to open for you. Sometimes we're so focused on saying what we don't have. Oh, I don't have the degree. I don't know these people. I'm too shy. Don't worry about what you don't have. Understand that if you're called for this, you have to set your environment that enables it to grow. You are called for this. I want to tell you right now that you're called for this. You're called. How many of you have never, ever done a counseling degree? Me, I've never done that. How many people call you for advice? Me. Right? You called for this. You are called for this. You have to accept that there are some skills and some gifts that you have that are just there because of your anointing. It's not because you studied or got a degree for it. It's just there. It's you. And you have to allow your environment to allow those gifts to come out. Some of you are compressing them too much. They are like wasted gift cards. Wasted gift cards. Number 5, the anointing will break bondage. Here we go. How many times, guys, have you been given advice to somebody else and you actually advise yourself? Ouch. How many times have you been talking to someone, yeah, under the anointing, and you were like, "Girl, you got to leave him. Girl, you shouldn't be doing that. Girl, get out of that environment. Girl, do this. Guy, do this." Boy, and you realize, hold on, pot kettle, I need to take my own advice. Oh my, listen, some of us are so busy giving the advice that we don't even realize we're sitting in it ourselves. Some of us need to look at ourselves when we're giving that advice, right? We need to break that bondage ourselves. How many of us have seen a friend that is going through something and we can just see it as clear as day? And we can just tell them, book. How many of us are going through stuff and when we're telling them now, we're like, oh my gosh, the light bulb moment. That's what I need to do. How many of you have got advice from yourself through giving it to someone else? I don't know, maybe. Listen, when the light bulb goes on, you have to move. When the light bulb goes on, you have to move. We are the best advice givers, but sometimes we don't even want to break the bondage that we have ourselves. It's time to let that anointing, right? Let it minister to yourself too. Let it get you out of that place. If you allow it to, it will break bondage. Number six, this is important. Some are anointed and don't even know it. Some are anointed and don't even know it. You need clarity. I'm here to give you that clarity today. You see that thing that you do without even thinking about it? That's your anointing. You see that thing that puts smiles on people's faces? That's your anointing. You see that thing that helps free people? That's your anointing. This is take this now as your clarity today that you are anointed. You have purpose. You have a mission. That anointing is your anointing. And someone needs to just, type that in the chat. I am anointed. Because sometimes we don't want to accept it. Sometimes we don't even know it. Someone told me I was anointed. I was like, really? I thought that was only for like special people. I thought that was only for like, when you read certain books, kings and, all these different hierarchies. Little old me from Lewisham. Get out of there. Someone needs to realize that you have an anointing over your life. Let me tell you this, if you've ever felt that thing inside you, if you've ever felt like, you don't understand how you always land on your feet, an idea pops into your head and you seem to give that advice or you seem to do something, that's your anointing, guys. That is the anointing. That is it. You don't need it. Like, I used to think that it was something special. Like, I don't know, I'd get a letter in the post. Here's your anointing certificate. We need to accept it. We all need to accept it, that it is there, because some of us shy behind it. Some of us, we're not owning it enough. So that's what delays. That's what traps us. When the obstacles and stuff come, that's what gets us, because we don't know our destination. We don't know that we have an extraordinary covering. So that's where we get lost. How many of you have got lost where you're going here, but then something happens and you get so focused on the obstacle, you forget where it was that you were going? I have. I remember speaking to someone. I literally picked up the phone to call someone. And I called them to tell them some really good news. And, as I called them, they came and delivered me some bad news, or what seemed to be bad news for them. And we got so caught up talking about the bad news, I almost forgot to tell them the reason why I called them in the first place. How many of us can get so bogged down by the obstacles and the situations, we forget where it is that we're going? I'll give you a live example. I was sitting in traffic the other day, right? And somebody was walking past who'd come from the traffic area. So I got talking to that person. I was like, what's going on down there? What's happening? Why is the delay happening? And we were talking so much, I missed the fact that the traffic had already started and I could have gone. I got so in tune with the distraction, I forgot that I was going somewhere. And when I looked, all the cars had already gone and it was clear for me to go. And guess what happened? I got trapped behind the traffic lights. Why? Because I got distracted by the distraction. I forgot where it was that I was going. Somebody needs to hear this. Stop being distracted by the distraction. The ultimate goal is where you're going, and the distractions are there to slow you down. Number 7, you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, you're going to be delayed. You're going to be confused. You'll start seeing things from a different light. You have to accept it. Accept that you were called for a time like this. Accept that there is a divine reason why you're here. Accept it. Who accepts it on this call right now? Accept it. You must accept it. You must accept it. But once you accept it, right? Once you accept it, what did I say at the beginning? Know that the test will come. Let me tell you this, number 8, counterfeit proves your value. Nobody is going to counterfeit something that isn't valuable. No one is going to trouble someone that isn't valuable, that they don't see something in. Counterfeit proves value. You got to accept this, guys. So in essence, what I'm saying is that anointing is bigger than anything that's going on in your life right now. Anything that's going on in the world right now, the anointing is bigger than it. And the only question you got to ask yourself is, are you going to respond or are you going to resist? Are you going to respond or are you going to resist? Because I tell you something, the higher the level, you guys already know. When much is given, much is required, right? And so you really have to understand that there is a bigger mission over your life than your feelings. Bigger mission. And I can prove it to you right now. I can prove it to you right now, right? Because with all the money, all the cars, all the houses in the world, if you're not fulfilling the purpose that you were born to do, you will not be fulfilled inside. How many of you ever got a bonus at work or got an extra little bit of money coming in and you're like, right, okay, once I get this money, I'm gonna clear everything, everything's gonna be fine, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and in 4 months later, 3 months, maybe 1 month later, everything going back to normal again, and you forgot that bonus. That bonus was supposed to just fix your life. I've been there. It is not about the money, guys. I can tell you this. I'm sitting here, Chairman 10, about to hit Chairman 25. Trading is doing well. But my purpose, listen, having money allows you to really focus on what your mission and purpose is. Not having money is the distraction. So you focus on doing the work over hours. But when you have the financial stability, you can then figure out properly what it is that you've been called to do. Right? But I can promise you this, that money will not fulfill you. You have to know what it is that your purpose is, right? Now, let me tell you this. I'm going to give you some calls to action because I wrote this down, right? I'm going to give you a call to action. Because there are some of us, right, that we allow influences to take us off track, right? Now, when I say influences, it could be insecurity, it could be the way we're feeling, it could be something from the past, it could be, you know, the existing situation. How many of you have ever got a bill through the door? Like you thought you were fine, and then the bill comes, it's like, raw, like really? Like you playing me today, innit? Like I just done figured out, I got my book, I wrote everything down, I've been ticking it off, and now you're gonna come running me with this bill that I didn't even know about. Like, these are things that we call influences, right? Now, you can either allow them to distract you from your goal, or you can persevere and carry on anyway. But know that influences will happen, right? So let me just give you a quick understanding of what I'm talking about when it comes to having this extraordinary expectation. Because now you understand that there's a calling, a purpose over your life. You then have to understand that because of that calling and purpose of your life, you must expect more. Someone put more in the chat. You must expect more. I expect more. I expect more. I want you to type that in, more. We must expect more, because when you shift your mindset to any basic person, any basic expectations, any basic lifestyle, and then you're like, hold on, I'm anointed. There's a covering over me. What does that mean? That means that there will be tests, but it means that I have at the playing fields level, It's not fair, the favor that I get. You know, I'm in environments that I wouldn't even expect to be in because of the purpose over my life. So when I understand that this is all a part of the package, I must expect more. Who's going to come off this call expecting more? I'm not expecting mediocre. How can I be anointed, meaning I get into rooms and environments that would not necessarily allow me into, but then expect mediocre or low standard? I must expect more. But when I expect more, I must understand what comes off the back of expecting more. How many of you have ever said when you started trading, right? All I want, £100 a day. I'm good. How many of you who's building the business? Oh, just get me to P1000. I'm good. Get me to P600. Yo, get me to P150, right? How many of you have been in a place where you're like, just get me there and I'm good? I said that about chairman. Now I'm like chairman 25. Now I'm like, how many chairmans? You are never, ever, ever going to be satisfied with where you are. I'll tell you that now. Why stress over where you're going when you get there, you're not going to be satisfied anyway? Because we always want more. I heard David Imanatie say that the other day. We always want more. You're stressing over some place that when you get there, you're not even going to want to be there anymore. Why do we stress? Why stress about somewhere? Because you know why? Because the goal is always what? The goal is always moving. The goal is always moving. The expectation always grows higher. Your anointing is always growing. Your mindset is always growing. Your expectation, when you begin to believe, your expectation must believe with it. Your expectation must get bigger. So what are you shooting too low for right now? What are you believing too small for right now that you need to believe bigger? How can we have 23-year-olds making $1 million a month and we're sitting down saying, oh, just get me to P1000? How can we have people making X amount of figures in their trading account and we're saying, oh, just make me £100 a day? Gratitude, yes, but expectation with the anointing that you have over your life must be aligned. You can't be, and this is why, let me stick to the notes. Let me stick to the notes. Wrap up, Nikki, get back to the notes. When you have a bigger expectation, your momentum gets bigger. Someone write that down. If you have no momentum, it's because your expectations are too low. When you have a bigger expectation, your momentum gets bigger. Your momentum grows. Your momentum goes faster. How many on this call want a bigger momentum, want faster momentum, want more momentum? If you want more momentum, put more momentum. Put more momentum in the chat. If you want more momentum, put more momentum. Because I'm going to give you some tips on how you can get more momentum, right? I'm going to give you some tips on how you can get more momentum. Number one, in order to get more momentum, you need to set it in motion. Whatever it is that you want, you need to set it in motion. So let's say, for example, blanketly, I want more money, right? You got to set activities that's going to get you more money. You can't just say, I want more money. There has to be some kind of activities that you set in order to make more money. So number one is set it in motion. Get the activities that are going to set that momentum in action. Set the thing in motion is number one. Get it in motion. Number two, your environment must facilitate the momentum. Hear the alignment. It has to facilitate the anointing. It must facilitate the momentum. Are you in an environment that facilitates your momentum or dilutes it? Don't allow anything or anyone to dilute your momentum, guys. Right? That's number three. You cannot allow anyone to dilute your momentum. Not friends, business, opportunities, all these things must be aligned in order for you to grow momentum. This is why I'm so specific about my time. I don't appreciate time wasting. I don't appreciate people wasting my time. I get so protective over my time because I understand that if I waste my time, I'm detracting from my momentum and I'm diluting my anointing. So you have to really evaluate. You got to go and actually get selfish when it comes to your momentum, your time. You see, when I have conversations now, it's like, hey, look, you know, maybe last year this would have been cool, but I'm quite selfish with my time right now. I'm focused on my momentum right now. I'm trying to do something that I can't be around anyone that's going to slow me down or stop me from doing what it is that I know I've been called to do. Some of you need to have that type of conversation, because we settle sometimes. How many of you settle in circumstances, for relationships, friendships, job situations? We just accept, oh, that's just a part of us. That's just a part of it. No, you have to understand that there's certain things that will break your momentum, and you must cut it off. Cut it off. Cut it off completely. Anything that is distracting, slowing down. That's right, Alison. You better show them scissors. Yo, guys, show the scissors. Alison said it. Listen, it's time to do some cutting. It's time to do some cutting, guys. Number 4, one thing that will slow your momentum down is unforgiveness. So I want everyone in this chat right now to write this down. I must forgive because bitterness dilutes my momentum. I must forgive because bitterness dilutes my momentum. Right? But we need to work on these influences, guys. Number 5, influences creep in and dilute your momentum. You got to be aware of it. Be aware. Influencers creep in and try to dilute your momentum. How many of you come home from, oh, I'm tired, work's tiring me, lack of finances, arguments with spouses, children? All these influences creep in to then tell us, oh, I can't do this. Oh, then tell us, oh no, I'll do it tomorrow. The influences will begin to dilute your momentum. You got to be aware of it. When you understand that these influences are not just there to dilute your momentum, but they're also there to grow you. My influences grow me and they build a defense mechanism. Number 6, the influencers show you where you are weak. The influencers show you where you are weak. Something that should have broken you is there to highlight an area for you to strengthen. How many of you were around when our group chat got hacked? Yeah? What did that show us? We could have shied away, cried, and turned down, but no, what did it do? It was the evolution of Discord, the evolution of something better, the evolution of a better channel. The influencers are not that you can have them break you, or you can have them strengthen you. Your influencers will strengthen you, show you areas of weakness, and allow you to see the cracks. They will awaken a new fight in you. Allow the influencers to awaken a new fight. Don't let them break you. They make you come back stronger, harder, more resilient. What would have happened if the influencers didn't come in? Where would you be? How many of us, they say, if that didn't happen, that wouldn't happen? Right? Influencers must be kicked out. Any of those influences that are in your life right now that are trying to slow you down, dilute your anointing, dilute your momentum, they must be kicked out. Kick them out. Those feelings of being tired, those thoughts about this is happening, this situation means I can't do this. We must kick those influences out if we really want to build on our momentum. Must do. Number 7, once you've kicked them out, someone say, don't go back. Don't go back. Once you've kicked them out, you can't go back, guys. You can't. Don't shrink. I already touched this already. Don't shrink your calling. Don't shrink your purpose. Don't shrink your anointing. Don't shrink your momentum. Do not go back. The temptation to go back is so easy. The temptation to quit is so easy. Oh, this didn't work today. I'm just going to go back to. Don't go back. Don't go back. How many of you know I'm not going back? Say, I'm not going back. I ain't going back. I'm not going back. I am not going back, no matter how uncomfortable it is. I am not going back. I'm not going back to that relationship. I'm not going back to that job. I'm not going back to that situation. I'm not going back to those friendships. I am not going back, because they dilute my momentum, they slow me down, and they destroy my anointing. And I will not have that happen to me. I am not going back. Number 8. This is going to hurt someone. New. When you're creating new momentum, it may require a restructure. It may require a restructure. What do you got to restructure? You might have to restructure your time. You might have to restructure your routine. You may even have to restructure the people around you. Some of you need to find some new confidants. Some of you need to find some new pals. Some of you need to make more different friends in higher places. Some of you need to get more aligned to the people that are going to boost you up during your season of momentum and not try and dilute you. Momentum, new momentum, will require a restructure. What do you have to restructure in your life? Not because of habit must you stay in that situation. Not because of it's always been like that must you stay. Restructure your day. Wake up earlier if you have to. Stop having them pointless conversations. Number 9, leave room for growth. You never make it, guys. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. We get higher levels, but we must leave room for growth. There must be room for growth. The minute you think that you know too much, the minute you think you don't need to learn, the minute you think you don't need the calls, the minute you think that's when your success will stop or go backwards. Leave room for growth. We must leave room for growth. Must do. Number 10, expect radical results. Expect radical results. If you don't expect radical results, then what is this all about? We're talking about extraordinary right now, expectations. We've got to expect radical, extraordinary results. Guess what? When my expectation changed, my results changed. Someone deep that. The minute my expectations changed, my results changed. The minute I stopped shooting so low, I got more. The minute I stopped giving myself permission to do a mediocre version of what it is that my anointing knows that I need to do, I saw more results. I made bigger impact. There has to be a revelation, guys. There must be a revelation. When you begin to think bigger, act bigger, grow differently, there has to be a revelation. And guess what happens? When you have that revelation, you will then change the expectation that you have over your life. Revelation will change your expectation. The minute you have that light bulb moment, oh my God, I deserve more. How many of you have seen like abused women that they get up there like one day after they've been like abused for years, and one day the light bulb moment hits, no, I'm getting out of there, right? That was me, the light bulb. One day, you see, the point is that some of you on this call don't even believe yet. Some of you on this call don't even understand that this call is for you, because you don't understand the anointing over your life. You don't understand the momentum that's about to be created based on you shifting the direction of your mindset. Having an extraordinary expectation. When you shift that mindset, all your current circumstances are small compared to the anointing, compared to the momentum, compared to the purpose. Every finer detail in between is small. But you have to have that revelation. You have to use that trauma that you have, that pain that you have, not to destroy you, not to distract you, but to fuel you and push you. It's there to test, to see how badly that you want it. Identify those influences in your life and cut them out. Cut them out. Completely cut them out, guys. I want you to understand that your revelation is bigger than your influences. And the influences must go. They must go. They have to go. In order for us to fulfill what it is, they must go. They must go. You know, as I wrap up this call, I want to give you guys a real honest testimony. And it's about when I met my husband. Some of you have heard this before. And when I met my husband, I tried to turn him off. I tried to put him off. I did so many things to try to make him not like me. You know why? Because I was scared that he would, us being in a relationship, us being connected, meant that I was forced to raise the bar. I was forced to have more momentum, and I was scared of what that looked like. But you know what I realized? I realized that for anyone to have a relationship with me, for any relationships that I have, whether that will be partnerships, friendships, you know, any kind of relationships, if you're not adding to my momentum, you gotta go. If you're not adding to the momentum, you have to go. Because the mission is so big right now. This is a war against poverty, guys. We have no time for the little whispers. We have no time for what anybody else thinks about us. What they think about us ain't our business. What you think about me is not my business. That's your business. You're the one thinking it. And by the time you're thinking it, you could have been thinking about the next idea to build your momentum, but you're thinking about how much you don't like me. Right? So what other people think about you doesn't matter when it comes to your momentum. But are you inviting and allowing people, things that are not, you know, helping your momentum in your life and take up residence in your mind, in your heart, in your actions, in your decision making? It's time to evict those influences. It's time to cut them off and begin to really live in the power that you know, deep down, you know. You've been scared to do it, but you know. And it's that extraordinary expectation moment now. It's that extraordinary expectation moment. It's not supposed to be easy, guys. That's the whole point. It's not supposed to be easy. But it's important that we understand that revelation is going to confirm to us that we have purpose. And I want to end on affirmations before I give the call to action. The revelation must remind me that I have purpose, that I am a good businessman, a good businesswoman. I am a billionaire in the making. I am the one to free my family. I am called to lead nations and generations. I am a good mom. I'm a good wife. And I'm placed here for a reason. And it doesn't matter who sees it or who doesn't, because I understand that my momentum is connected to who it is that I'm called to be and what it is that I expect. And when I get that revelation that the expectation over my life must be bigger, I must go harder. I want to tell someone right now, right, that those of you that are looking at your current situation, what you see, what you hear, what is happening around you, I want to just give you one line. Birth is not on your schedule. It's not up to you when to push, right? It's not up to you when that baby is going to come, when that thing is going to be pushed. What I want to say to you right now is up to you to make sure that you do the right things. Birth is not on your schedule. You just need to make sure that the environment is ready for when the birth is going to happen. Are you ready for that exponential growth? Are you ready for the extraordinary that's about to happen? There's a deeper level, guys, of this thing. And I wish I had more time to go into this, but I want to tell you this now, that there's a deeper level to letting go. Some of us be talking about, oh, I'm letting go, I'm cutting off. No, 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 no. You must be that relentless and that committed to your mission that you say, I'm done with you. I'm done with that. I'm finished with this. I'm about to go hard. You got to be relentless and committed in this season. Some of us are dabbling. Any of you like, you know, go on a date and you know it's not going to be married, you're just flirting and that. Some of you are flirting with this mission. Some of you are just flirting, you're just dabbling with it. Yeah, call it like that one. You know you ain't gonna marry him. Why are you wasting your time? You just flirting, letting the time, but you don't have time to waste. You ain't got no time to waste flirting around with it. You flirting with your mission. Stop it right now. Turn away from the things that you know is not going to get you the result. And go hard and spend your time on the things that you really get your fire back, guys. Get that fire back inside of you. And you know, fire has two purposes. It can burn you to death or it can keep you warm. So we have to get that fire back. Get your fire back. And here's my call to action as I close this call. You must evolve, number one. So how many people, guys, do you know, that it's predicted that 1/3 of the population will be on Instagram by 2021? Who remembers when Instagram first came out, when we were on Facebook and Instagram came out and we were like, what is this? Pictures with no, like with writing. This ain't gonna work. And now Instagram is faster than Facebook. We have to evolve, guys. If you ain't making money on Instagram right now, even if you're trading and you're not building a business, put your link in your bio. You never know who's going to click it. Call to action. If your link isn't in your social media bio, put it in there. It takes no effort for you to put that link in your bio so someone can click and buy from you. You have an online store right there and some of you ain't using it. That's a call to action. Number two, cut off what isn't serving you. If it's not serving you, you have no time. How do I put my link in my bio? Just copy it, go to, we'll put some instructions in Discord so that you can copy the steps, right? And your link will be there. Rather than me try to go through it for it, I got you, right? Number two, cut off what isn't serving you. Stop making allowances for it. Number three, accept that anointing, guys. Declare it daily, but most importantly, act on it daily. Act on it daily. Declare it daily and act on it daily. This is a call to action. And number four, go hard. Don't flirt with it. Go hard. Do the calls, do the sessions. Don't worry about the what ifs. What if it doesn't work? Don't worry about the what ifs. Just do what it is. Go hard. Go hard. This is an extraordinary October, and I believe that we're going to have some extraordinary. We're already seeing the testimonies come through. But the biggest question is will it be you? Will you do what you have to do to set that environment so that your anointing is able to grow? Are you going to accept it? Are you going to do what it is that it takes? And so I want to see you guys in the chat right now. Who's ready? I want to see who's ready right now. Because the bottom line is I've got this special announcement to do and I'm super fired up. I told you this was an extraordinary one, right? I told you this was an extraordinary one. And so you got to be ready for this. You got to be ready for this because this is extraordinary. This is something that probably you guys are thinking, what? What's she on about? What's she talking about? Well, hear what, guys? I like to practice what I preach. And so I've been working behind the scenes. I've been working behind the scenes and I'm going to be doing my very own pre-launch in the next 2 weeks, right? My very own pre-launch in the next 2 weeks. And so get ready for something big, something that we haven't really spoke about much, right? Something that we haven't really, really gone in on much. But where do I have any traders on this call? Do I have anyone on this call that's a trader? Say me. If you trade, I want you to just put gold in the chat, put me in the chat. Let me know you're here. Right? But I'm ready to have an extraordinary October. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go all in. And so what I've been doing is I've been studying something that should really make you guys smile, that probably you guys don't even talk about, probably you guys don't even think about, but I want to do a pre-launch with you guys in a couple of weeks' time. And you'll get all the details in the HFX chat. And they said Christmas was cancelled, guys. But I want to tell you this right now. I want us to start preparing our Christmas pot from the next 2 weeks. We are going to be having a very, very exclusive Christmas pot Christmas pot build up. And we're going to be doing it through the absolutely amazing HFX. Anybody on this call know about High Forex high frequency Forex, guys. Your girl, I'm telling you now that this girl right here is about to blow up the HFX gold market. And so what I want to do is I want to announce a HFX gold boot camp. Boom, in your face. Let's go. HFX all the way, guys. If you're not familiar with HFX, right, I want to just tell you right now that let me tell you some of the benefits of HFX right now. I want to let you know exactly what this is about. So with HFX, very simply, and I'm going to do a little call about this, so you know, don't worry if you don't understand it. HFX cuts out a lot of the stuff that you probably find a little tedious at first. Sometimes, you know, you don't have to worry about stop losses. You don't have to worry about take profits. You don't have to be doing your, you know, moving your take profits. With HFX, you know exactly how much you're going to make or how much you're going to lose. You can set your trade for 1 minute. You can set your trade for 3 minutes, enter the trade, exit the trade. There is no messing about with, you know, stop losses and all this business. HFX is literally killing it right now, guys. Now, I have been trialing and testing a few brokers and how it works. So bear with me for the next 2 weeks so I can really show you the strategy that I've been using. Okay, of course, we've got the I Am educators, you know, my girl Millie Mills, we have Nez. But if you are somebody that is interested in HFX, guys, and you don't currently have a HFX pack, or you don't currently have the elite pack access to HFX, and you want to get up there before we start the bootcamp in 2 weeks, then go ahead and upgrade to the HFX pack. However, if you have already got it and you're not sure, then wait for the 2 weeks and we will get that. We're going to dive into this thing. Your girl is on this core hard and we're going to make some Christmas money. I'm telling you right now that the ones I've been trialing it with are literally killing it right now. The trades are just, it's either win or lose, and there's none of this kind of, you know, being in drawdown. There's none of this, oh my God, it's going out of hand, I forgot to put a stop loss. There's none of that. You're either going to make that amount or you're going to lose that amount, and it's done. And it is just literally, that's it. Win or lessons. There we go, Love Day. So I wanted to let you know that this extraordinary October is not just going to be in the mindset, it's going to be in our trading game as well. We are going to take it all the way, guys. And so if you know anyone that maybe have been put off by all the education and all the stop losses and how this strategy and that strategy, if anyone who simply can just press, literally put, that is how you do it in you don't say buy and sell in someone says bless you Nikki in HFX, guys. So if you know anybody, now is the time to get them in, because we're going to simplify this thing. Is back to basics, but we're going to make some money. The great thing about HFX is you can make money in 1 minute. You don't even have to know what you're doing. You just press put or call. It is that simple, guys. So with that being said, right, I want you to prepare your minds for an extraordinary, yes, you'll get a taster session. You'll be able to, I'm going to do a taster session. Winnie, oh, that's Dr. F. What's up? I'm going to do a taster session for you guys. So just bear with me. I want to figure out some dates. I want to make sure that I've got you guys and I've got all the information to give you. I'm playing around with a few brokers just to see. There's things called rollovers and other stuff that I'm just figuring out. So once I've got that, give me 2 weeks, guys, and I will drop that date in when we are going to have this HFX gold bootcamp. I'm going to study gold. You know, your girl is gold. How do we upgrade? You simply go into the I Am Academy and then just go to your shopping cart and you'll be able to upgrade from there. But yeah, very, very simply put, oh, let me stop the old recorder. Let me just